Morning, everybody. This is going to be day 8. I've actually pulled off 8 days in a row with this. I'm proud of myself. But today I am not feeling it. And you're going to have days like that. So this is a good day to talk about some of those things that you practice so that you can kind of blow through the days where you're not feeling inspired. I'm a guy that just lives off of inspiration. But that's not going to be good. You got to maximize your moments of inspiration when they come. And you need inspiration. Inspiration, that word, if you break down that word, you get into spirit. See, so you've got this X factor source that's fueling you to see and envision things that are inspiring you to move toward them. And you need that. That is, that's really the God portion of things. That we can be inspired sort of with an X factor thing that kind of breaks us out of the what we think is possible type of mindset, gets us into there's something beyond. It kicks in hope, I think. But you're going to have days where you don't want to get up, you don't want to enter in, maybe you're just not feeling it. Maybe you're out of town like I am. Getting out of town, you get out of routine, you don't have your same set up, and it gets easy to kind of not find your groove in the morning. But it's days like this that it's critical that you do the minimum effective dose as best you can. You get out and you do it. And this also is a moment where things like journaling come into play. David Allen wrote a great book called Getting Things Done. He's actually got a system of getting things done, of productivity. I'd highly recommend it. He's very good in that department. But in his book, he makes a statement. He says, when you're smart, you got to write down those smart things so that when you're dumb, you can do smart things. Now, using dumb and smart meaning, when I'm smart, I'm thinking clearly, I'm on the top of the mountain, I'm seeing everything, I'm inspired, I'm motivated. When you've got that clear vision that you can articulate and you're feeling it, you're juiced from it, you're connected to the emotion of it, you got to write that stuff down, okay? You got to capture that. You got to build on a vision that you can repeat when you're not feeling it. Because when you capture those words well enough, those days you're not feeling it, it helps you get back into the mode you were in when you wrote it, which is what you're going to need. That's something that's going to help you fight the fight. It's the same thing as the habits of successful people. The first habit is that you're responsible. It's proactivity. You got to use the prefrontal cortex and do what the prefrontal cortex does, which is to plan, imagine, envision, get outside of yourself and look back in and create a plan that you can then implement utilizing discipline. Habit 1 is proactivity. Habit 2 is beginning with the end in mind, meaning you're envisioning and you're writing it out. You're envisioning a future and you're mapping it out. You're writing it down. Habit number 3 is you're doing it now. Okay, so if you're using construction language, you'd say, I am the builder. Habit 2, write the blueprint. You got to draw up the blueprint. You got to know what it is you want to build. If you're a construction guy, then you got to know what it is you're building. You got to have plans. You got to have a blueprint. And so you write that down. That's journaling. I would highly recommend journaling. I don't know how anybody could get anywhere in this area without really good journaling skills, because you're getting down thoughts that are coming and going. Right? Inspirational thoughts, they come and go. And so you got to capture them when you can get them. And then habit 3 is, now that you got the blueprint, you go into the planning room, you take a look at that blueprint, and you do the things. You build the blueprint. Now for a life, those are actions, and those are actions of the will. But see, you got to give your will something to work with by envisioning. Getting it up there, and then just fighting that fight. You gotta utilize self-discipline. That's what it is. At the end of the day, it's going to be self-discipline. But you don't want dry, dutiful self-discipline. You want a blissipline more. I've heard it said. You know, you want a bigger yes in your heart. You want to create that true north principle in your life that's clear, so you know the things you've got to do through the day when you're not feeling it. See, I'm a not feeling it type of guy. When I don't feel something, I struggle. That's why I've got to, this is big for me. I've got to really construct that life on paper when I'm inspired. Because again, I kind of live from one inspiration to the next. That's a weakness. It's a weakness and a strength. So to work through the moments where the valleys are kicked in, like this morning, you got to have that vision. And I've got a vision to do 365 days of these move and breathe videos so that I could have it up there and ready for anybody who wanted to take the journey, for anybody just desperate enough to bring about change to their life. They could just watch this every day if they'll empty. I'm telling you, if this has nothing to do with me, I've been studying these types of things for 20 years. I know the best of the best in this department. I'm not calling myself the best. I'm calling myself a parrot. I am parroting the best in this type of life change and transformation. This is things that I have done myself to get me from feelings of despair and depression that would lead to suicide. I mean, it's serious. Like I've got, if I don't change, this isn't gonna work. So see, that's a lot of motivation. And I've just worked. I've worked at it. I've studied. I've read. I've done it all, man. And I've consistently enough done these things. So I want to have 365 days of these so that I could just point somebody who was desperate enough and really wanted to change and really ready to cut all the crap, because we have a lot of excuses today. It's a lot easier just to get pity from people. Talk about how awful your life is and get pity. I mean, there's people that just do that. I've done a lot of that, but it doesn't get you anywhere. You're still stuck with the you that's miserable. So if you really want change, you got to implement these things, and on the days you don't feel it, you just got to get out there and you got to do that minimum effective dose. You got to let the Lord plant something in you. You got to get out and move and breathe. You got to dream. You got to be grateful. Those are the days you really want to be battling in that gratitude area, because you've got to focus your mind. You got to place your mind on certain things you've chosen to place it on, and then stir up gratitude and fight the fight. You got to live it. You just got to live it. So today's one of those days for me, but I'm out here going to do the minimum effective dose, going to enjoy my family, think about all the things I'm grateful for, know that God is drawing me into a beautiful future because He's present and He promises to, and I know, thank goodness, it isn't all up to me. I'm trusting in the Lord to be doing His God part of drawing me to Himself. And I just say, yes, Lord, draw me to yourself. I am weak and needy, so as I'm weak, He's made strong in me. I borrow His strength. I lean into Him, and He gets me there. So He's going to get you there too, if you'll just give your heart to Him, open it up, and be consistent enough on a daily basis in your mornings to create a vision that's getting more and more beautiful. You want to build off of the vision because you get to add to it. You get to add beauty to it. Yet you get more thoughts about it. It gets bigger and better, and you say it better. And see, that big yes starts welling up. And when you've got a bigger yes, your discipline's going to be easy, because see, you actually will sacrifice to get the beautiful thing that you're seeing. See, that makes discipline a lot easier, because you actually think that the sacrifice is worth it, because it is worth it. But you got to keep it on the forefront of your mind. You've got to work these principles on a daily basis. They've got to become habit, that you just do them unconsciously. Does that make sense? So remember, We make our habits. We create our habits because we're able to do that. A prefrontal cortex enables a human being to create habits that you know are going to work. And then those habits create you, in a sense. So, and then you got to get out and move and breathe. You got to move and breathe. You got to exercise. You got to be fighting this fight. You got to throw off all the toxins that you're going to be accumulating in your physical body and your mental life and your emotional life and your spiritual life. You got to fight. You got to do things to fight it off on a daily basis. Get into some good habits. They say sitting is the new smoking. So you got to get moving and breathing. There's just certain things you just got to do to be a good steward of this amazing temple and to live in wholeheartedness and real fulfillment and fulfill your mission. Because everybody's here on a mission. You need to know what the mission is. Ask the Lord what the mission is and get clear on it. It will be the desire of your heart. When you found it, it will tap into deep desire. So desire is that Latin word. It literally means of the Father. Sire, you know, that Father in there, of the Father, desire. You got to tap into the Father's desire for you. He made you on purpose. And if you tap into that, you're going to love it. So go find it, love it, live it. Have a great day. Bye-bye.